Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. Cumberland Outdoorsman out here at my shooting bench with some of my 22 Rimfire guns. And in today's video, I'm not going to be doing any shooting, but I'm going to be covering how I like to clean my 22s. This is going to be another video for my 22 Rimfire series, but this will also apply to any centerfire guns that you might have, whether they're rifle, pistol, or even shotguns. Now normally I like to clean my guns from the breech end. You know, you've seen this in the past where I've showed you how to take a gun apart, disassemble it correctly, and clean it from the breech end and reassemble the gun using a cleaning rod like the one I've got here, made by Gunslick. It has a ball bearing handle, very well made, and it has this coated rod. And of course the end is threaded right here to accept different attachments, such as this cleaning jag right here. And you know, honestly, using high quality cotton patches, this is the way to go, you know, to be able to clean your firearms. 22s don't normally have to be cleaned nearly as often as centerfire rifles. What I mean by 22s, I'm talking about 22 long rifles, and you know, that shoot lubricated bullet. Here I've got an example of what I'm talking about. When you fire one of these rounds through the barrel of a 22 rifle or pistol, the coating on the outside of this bullet is lubricated with a waxy or greasy substance that actually coats the bore of that rifle as the bullet travels through the bore. And you know, it leaves behind a film, a residue that protects the bore from rust and corrosion. Whereas a centerfire rifle usually has a copper jacket, and it leaves behind a very thin film of copper, which can become somewhat corrosive with time. So centerfire rifles, you know, are subject to higher pressures and heat than rimfires in general, especially the 22 long rifle. But you know, still, with time, if you want to maintain your 22s and keep them in tip-top shape, I would recommend you clean the bore out on a regular basis. Now sometimes I run across an old rimfire rifle or pistol that looks rather neglected. You know, it has rust on it, sometimes even pitting on the outside from the rust, and it's been banged around quite a bit. But then when I clean out the bore, I notice that the rifling and the barrel is in tip-top condition. And that's because modern ammunition leaves behind that film, that lubricated material that the bullets actually deposit as they're traveling down the bore. So the guns probably haven't been cleaned in years, if not decades. And still, once you run a patch through there, the bore is just as bright and shiny as a new dime. And I've got an example of that right here. This is an old Remington model 581. This is my favorite 22 rifle of all, as you probably well know by now. And I saw this one on an online auction, and I got it at a pretty good price. But as you can see, it's been beaten around quite a bit. It's got rust on the receiver, on the barrel. The barrel crown itself has some rust on it. Underneath, the metal hardware has rust on it. But when I took the bolt out and cleaned the barrel, I was pleased to see that all the rifling was nice and crisp. There was not a speck of rust inside the barrel. And that's because modern ammunition, once again, came to the rescue and deposited that thin film of lubrication which protected the bore. But anyway, I picked this old gun up because it just kind of pleaded with me to rescue it. So I'll be doing a restoration video with this old gun here. By the way, this is a January of 1968 model, and it has an American walnut stock. And these are great little guns. For those of you that don't know, And those of you that do know, that do have one, or have fired one before and maybe hunted with it or whatever, or shot targets with them, you know they're great little rifles. Now, working the bolt on this gun, it's still quite solid. There's no slack. It's in good condition. And looking through the barrel, once again, I mean, it's just as bright as it can be, just like a brand new gun. Now, with that being said, as you well know, like I mentioned before, I like to clean all my guns from the breech end, if at all possible. And I found a way of doing that. It's been around for a long time. I don't know why I haven't demonstrated this before, but there are rifles where cleaning from the breech end is a real hassle. You know, it really is, if you're using a metal rod, because you have to disassemble the gun. This one here, you can remove the bolt and run that rod right up through the action, right into the barrel, and clean it out no problem. And then reinstall the bolt when you're finished. But anyway, the cleaning method that I'm talking about is using a bore snake. And I know a lot of you know about these things. They're available in so many different calibers. But you know, if you own a 22, like this Marlin Model 60 here, the only way you can clean this little rifle, if you're going to use a rod, is through the front of the barrel. You know, the muzzle. I showed you that in the previous video where I used a muzzle guide and fed that cleaning rod down into the bore. But what you can do, and I'm going to demonstrate this, it's not going to take long. Just open the breech like that. You can lock it back, pull back, push in on the handle. I'll take this bore snake out. And you can use different solvents with these bore snakes. Here you can see, that's the material that actually cleans out the bore. And here you have a series of brushes that are actually woven into the material here. And then this is your pull cord that has a weighted end right here. I mean, a lot of you know this already because you own these and you know how quick and easy it is to clean with one of them. What you can do is dip this end right here in front of the pull cord into your Hoppe's number 9, or if you like to use Ballistol, you know, depending on whatever you like, you can dip that in there initially. Then you feed it down into the chamber, right here. Feed that weighted end down into the chamber. If I can get it in there. Feed it all the way through. They even make these for shotguns, folks. So if you want to clean your shotgun bore, you can get a bore snake for your shotgun. And as you can see, it comes out of the muzzle there. And then you just pull it right on through. And usually one pass does it, especially with a 22 rimfire. Now, if you own a rimfire like this nylon 66, you can remove the barrel. You have to take the receiver cover off and go through a bunch of steps to get the barrel out. But if you own one of these bore snakes, you can simply hold the action open, go ahead and make sure it's not loaded, you know, of course. And I use the old rubber band trick. I'll hold the charging handle open like this, loop the rubber band around the trigger guard, and then come back around, and that'll hold the action open. That's for a semi-automatic that you can't lock back, you know, that won't stay open when you pull the charging handle back. And then you just take your bore snake and feed it into the chamber, just like I did with my Marlin Model 60. Feed that weighted end on the end of the cord right on through until it comes out the muzzle, and then just make sure you're not tangled up here, and then just pull it right on through. Now, I've looked at the barrels in the past after I've cleaned them like this, and like I said, one pass is enough to get it just squeaky clean. Now, even with rifles where you can remove the bolt very easily and expose the breech, such as is the case with this Winchester Model 69A, all you have to do is open the bolt, work it rearwards, depress the trigger, and the bolt comes right out. Now you can very easily use a cleaning rod and clean from the breech end. But I'll tell you what, since I started using the bore snake, even these kind of rifles are much easier and quicker to clean. All you do, once again, is take your weighted end on the end of your cord, your pull cord, feed it right into the chamber, just like that. This really saves a lot of time, folks, I'm telling you. And then just pull it right on through. That barrel is as shiny as a new dime. I think it does a better job on rimfire rifles, like the 22 long rifle, than just about anything else. Even pistols like this Ruger Mark III, for those of you that own a Mark I, Mark II, or Mark III, you know that it's quite a chore to take this thing apart and really get it cleaned out. But if you just want to clean the breech end and clean the barrel, instead of cleaning from the muzzle end using a rod, the reason I don't like to do that, folks, I'm going to explain this to you. I've actually ruined a rifle barrel in the past, because as that rod goes down through the front of the barrel, the muzzle crown, it actually wears down the lands of the rifling, and it causes the gun to shoot inaccurately with time. It's just an abrasive action, that back and forth motion against the lands of the rifling, that just wears them down. And that's the last place that the bullet makes contact with the barrel as it's guided towards the target. So it can cause the bullet to kick a little bit, because you get escaping gases on one side of the bullet or the other that is not uniform all the way around as that bore is trying to guide that bullet and as it exits from the crown of the barrel. So anyway, once again, you can use a bore snake just like this. You feed it right into that chamber there until it comes through. I know I'm over demonstrating this, but I'm just showing you how easy it is. And it takes all that grime, powder fouling and lead fouling and everything, and just cleans it right out. And like I say, you can use whatever cleaning solvent you want, you know, and that'll get your 22s ready for use for the next shooting session or for hunting trip. And then to store your bore snake, don't throw away the container. Just roll it up like that, put it back in the container, and that's it. You know, you're done. So if you haven't tried a boar snake, or maybe you don't know about it, give it a try. Cost-wise, they're about $10 to $15 depending on the caliber. Some of them are probably a little bit more expensive. There are more advanced versions of this available now, but this is going to be part of my 22 and centerfire and shotgun upkeep. I really like these boar snakes, so give them a try, folks. So with that being said, let me go ahead and close out this video and wish you all well. Hopefully you're having a good holiday season. I'll be trying to post some more videos. I'm trying to get some deer videos out there, and hopefully I'll have a successful season and to be able to share that with you. So remember, if you like to go hunting, fishing, camping, shooting, hiking, whatever your outdoor pursuit happens to be, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Until next time, remember, hit that like button, smash that bell icon, and subscribe. That way you'll know when more videos like this one will be coming your way. So until then, y'all take care of yourselves, and y'all get out there and enjoy the great outdoors. God bless.